welcome back to this podcast. Wow. Apologies if there's any sort of audio weirdness. I've got a different audio setup. It shouldn't sound any different, but who fucking knows whether it's going to go wrong or not, am I right? So, yeah.
You are. You are right.
I am right. I am. Yeah. It's a new podcast, and oh boy, there's a lot of stuff to talk about actually in this podcast. There's some. I'm gonna list off all the stuff that I've got. At least there's some YouTube boxing that's been hotting up a little bit that I always like to tell Judd because he's very interested, aren't you, Judd? Aren't you? Yeah.
I'm super interested.
Oh yeah,
in
he's so interested
I'm really
in it.
Interested,
it's really
yeah.
The new Jackass movie came out, and oh boy, did. Well, there's some stuff to talk about, let me tell you anyway. Yeah. My search for the meaning of life has continued, and I have a new least favourite philosopher. Because previously I've been a big Aristotle hater, but honestly, I found someone even worse. I mean, fuck Aristotle still, but we'll get into it. Also, I wanted to talk a little bit about the new documentary by the people who made my favourite documentary ever. My favourite documentary I've ever seen is Don't Fuck With Cats, and the same people who made that made The Tinder Swindler. I've got some opinions on it. And then also, I've been trying to sell some stuff on Facebook Marketplace, and we once did a podcast. We once did a podcast on the most insufferable people tier list. And in the top category was people who say, what's your best price as a thing on, when trying to debate on Facebook Marketplace. That's one of the, I've got some stories on that too. Have you got anything, Jude? What have you been up to?
I've not. My nan's actually been commenting on how much stuff you've been selling on Facebook Marketplace.
Has she?
Yeah,
I guess we can do that first, then sure.
She just said to me, Jake's like selling all of his stuff on Facebook Marketplace. Is he that desperate to like get a house?
Things. I'm selling 3 things.
I'm not surprised. She's probably exaggerated it then, but she was like, yeah, he's selling literally everything he owns.
I've got 4 things. No, it's because I've tidied up some stuff, and normally if you're like, oh, I need to sell that, oh, there's some other stuff, I'll just plunk it all on at once, is normally how I do it. I don't you don't tend to just do one every so often. I've got some old Yu-Gi-Oh cards that I found from when I was tidying my room out, so that's one set of things. Because currently I've not got like a house that we're going to be moving into, I finally put up a sofa that we bought to go into a house that ended up falling through because it's taking up so much room. I was supposed to do that ages ago. I just finally got around to it. Then also because I'm like trying to buy a house, I've got this PA system that I've had, like, it's some speakers for doing like music, live music and stuff like that, that just doesn't exist anymore, really. Let's be honest, live music is just dying, so I just have no need for this system. I'm not going to use it. There's some fucking banging speakers. They're fucking crazy, honestly. They sound amazing. To put in perspective how good they are, I provided music for a full-length rugby pitch outside using these speakers. So honestly, so that's one of the things. And then also another thing is, the tech world isn't talking about this, Judd. It's an exclusive, okay? They're not. Honestly, I don't believe in many conspiracies at all. This is a conspiracy. I'm telling you right now. Okay. Right. So in Android, in any at least mobile operating system, in any operating system that's on a computer device, if you don't know what an operating system is, some examples are Windows, Android, iOS, macOS, those sorts of things. There's security certificates on those sorts of things. The digital security certificates, they're stored on that computer, and it's it restricts some things sometimes. Like, generally, if it's your own computer, there's not going to be many restricting things very far. But on Android, one of Google's security certificates is called Widevine, okay? There's 3 levels of Widevine, L1, L2, and L3. L1 is essentially unrestricted. It allows you to do whatever you want. L3 is the most restricted. So one of the things that's been happening is a lot, I think, I don't fully know what it is. There's been some new rules on what Widevine certificate is allocated to what device. So if a device has a certain component that doesn't allow for Android to recognize that component separately from the rest of them and then perform a certain function that I'm not going to get into, it's too complicated, to do with that component, then you can't get the unrestricted license, basically.
Right.
It's a bit. It sounds quite complicated. It's not as complicated as it is as I'm kind of describing, because to describe it, I don't know. Anyway, so basically, what it means is a lot of Android devices are not able to stream HD content on subscription services like Disney Plus, Netflix, Amazon Prime. It's like a lot more than you'd expect. So one of which was Google's own phone. Their own phone couldn't do it. The Google Pixel. I don't know if it's still an ongoing problem with the Pixel, but honestly, and I tried to Google this thinking, you know, MKBHD, fucking all the biggest tech channels, surely they're talking about this, because it's still not fixed. It's been ongoing since winter last year, well, since late November, December kind of time last year. No one's fucking reporting on it. No one's responding to it. None of the manufacturers' teams are responding to forums when they're saying this, you know, that I've got a problem with this. No one's talking about it. I swear to God, there must be some sort of cover-up. That's the conspiracy I've got. That people's devices are being restricted to like this so that they can't stream Netflix in HD. So basically, I had to buy a new tablet because mine was restricted. So that's why I'm selling a tablet as well, a tablet computer. So So if anyone wants to buy that tablet, please do. I promise it'll stream Netflix real good. It still works. It's just limited to 540p. Anyway, that's a little rant about that. But speaking of that tablet, let me get Facebook up here. I wanted to highlight a particular... I've had a lot of stupid interactions, being as I have 4 things up for sale on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
That's not a lot, but like, you know, the amount of stupid interactions for that amount of items is going to be a lot.
Yeah, that's fair.
So... Right. Jean-Pierre Leroy is his name. I don't feel bad about saying the whole thing because I'm pretty sure it's a fake account. I'm pretty certain it's a fake account. As I looked their account up and they've got 0 friends, or they've got like 2 friends that are obviously both fake accounts as well. It's one of those, you know. So what I wanted to do was I'm going to share my screen with you, Judd, and you can read out Jean-Pierre's lines in an appropriate voice. I'm not going to tell you what type of voice to do, but...
all right.
Right. You see that? Can you read that?
Yes, okay, yeah.
Okay, there you are. And I'll read out what I say.
Okay. Good afternoon, is this still available?
That doesn't sound French enough. And I said,
yes. I didn't want to do it. Because I thought
just do the French accent, okay, Judd? Come on.
Okay. Good afternoon. Is this still available?
It is, yes.
Oh, I take, but I would like to come tomorrow. But I am in a very... Did I read that right? But yeah, that's how he wrote it. But I would like to come tomorrow, but I am very busy with work. I will send a yodel. What? Thandra?
I have no fucking clue.
What is that? That's what he wrote. This is what he wrote. This is not me being retarded. Service agent to your home to give you your money and pick up the item, okay? And then the next message is okay on its own again.
And I said, because I've heard this scam before, and just so you know, I got. Oh, you can't see it. They've removed the messages. I got the exact same message that Judd's read out from a completely different account. That was exactly the same, typed out in the exact same way. Pretty sure it was a scam. So, just to humour it, I knew I wasn't going to be able to sell this tablet to this person, but I like to sort of see how far these things go. I said, I would prefer to meet up. When would you be available?
And then he said in his outrageous accent, he said, I explained that a Yodel Express agent will come and return an envelope to you with your money. And once you have verified your money, you will return the item I sent it to you for, and then he put in a separate message, okay, and then the next one it's tomorrow at 2 p.m. and then another one that just says okay.
No, he does that after every message, by the way. Puts another new one that says, okay.
Yeah.
So I understand, because I knew what he was saying. This is obviously a copy and pasted message as well. I understand, but I would prefer to meet. Is there a time you would be available to meet instead? I just saw that. No, you're not going to get away with that. Judd just drunk out of a Coke can and then just spat back into the Coke can.
It was old Coke. I didn't really. I thought I thought it was the one I just brought in, but it was the old one.
How old? How old was it? Did you just drink some mold or something?
No, not that old. It was like 2 or 3 days or something. But you know when it's just something's just been sat there for a bit.
It's like a bit dusty. And...
yeah, he's just like, oh no, that's not all right.
Anyway, continue. So I said, I understand, but I prefer to meet. Is there a time you would be available to meet instead?
He put, I am busy, a different message, okay.
And then I thought, you're not busy forever. I'm very free, like pretty much any time. And I put, when are you not busy?
He put, all on weekdays.
And I said, because I'm thinking, he thinks I'm going to be working, I'm not going to be available on weekdays. Sucks to be you, I work from home. And I put, that's fine, what time?
He put, tomorrow 2 a.m., tomorrow at 2 p.m. Okay, so what?
So, and this was on a Saturday that I was doing this. So I put, tomorrow isn't a weekday. It's a, because it was a Sunday. And I said, I can meet at, blah, blah, I'm not going to say where that is. I can meet at this certain location at 2 p.m. if that's okay.
Okay, and then he says, Okay, it works to make the sending. I wait for your name, first name, address. I wait for your name, first name, like your first name's different from your just name.
It is. Well, I mean, he's got 3, so maybe.
Yeah. Address, city, postcode, global amount of the article, and email address. Okay.
What the fuck is a global amount of the article? What's that?
What is that?
I'm not a global amount of the article. Anyway, so I was like, no, that's not what I agreed to. I said I can meet you somewhere. I do not agree to a courier.
But I just ran down a bit, sorry. It's for notification of the transaction.
And I said, because that don't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I said, that doesn't make sense. Can you meet me to buy this tablet or not?
He says, I am not available, okay. But that okay actually put in the same message. That wasn't a separate
nice job,
message.
he's
that
learning.
one was with it, yeah.
And I put, when would you be available?
Yeah. You put, never available.
So I said, you are never going to be available for the rest of time.
And he said, yes. and then right at the bottom in really small letters it says, a contact left the group.
No, he left the group because I reported him and blocked him, obviously.
Oh,
but,
right.
it's like, fuck me. You're not going to be available for the rest of time. I'm pretty sure that's wrong. I mean, what about like 4:30 a.m. on a Tuesday?
Yeah.
Yeah, what about then? Yeah, let's meet then. Fuck it. Who cares? It's just because I knew it was a scammer. But yeah. I had another one. Let me see if I can view this one, because I blocked this guy as well. There's more messages, but it shouldn't be as hard to read these ones out. So let me share my screen again, and so this guy, I want you to read his out in like a proper like northern accent, like a deep, like he's a fella from that pub, Yeah, it's me, I'm for like that, one of those ones.
All right, okay.
So, go. You're first.
Yeah, I'm not seeing your screen right now.
Oh my cunting bastard. Here we go. How's that?
Oh, there we go. It wasn't coming up for some reason. Okay, I've got it. Okay. Right. So, is this available? How much just for the For what? The Mackie Thumps. What the fuck is Mackie Thumps?
It's the speakers. So
Oh, is that what they're called?
yeah, that's what they're called.
Okay.
So I said it is. I would rather sell it all as a set if that's possible. It would be harder to sell just the desk. Feel free to make any offers though. So by that I meant I don't want to sell just the speakers on their own because they've got like stands that come with them, and then I'd be left with like a mixing desk and a bunch of cables for it all that I'd have to sell individually. I want to sell it all together. So I said, but if you want to make an offer for the speaker, if the offer for the speakers was like particularly good, I'd be like, okay, I'll do it. So then he said,
he says 180,
and I said, I've already had offers of at least 200.
Was that true, or were you telling a big porky?
It was true, yeah. I had about 3 offers of about 200.
Okay. What the fuck? 200 then for all. You will have no problem selling.
No. We're at this.
Oh
one.
wait. Oh shit! I read ahead. Sorry. 200 for what? All for all, or just speakers?
I said for all of it.
He says, "Oh, just want speakers."
At this point, I'm like, yeah, I know, but I want to sell all of it at once, and I've already told you that. So, and then I put, I know, but I said I would rather sell a set because it would be hard to sell the items individually. Would you be interested in everything for 230? Now, that's an incredible deal for what I'm selling here. What I'm selling here is up for 300, and that's already a really good deal. Okay. So anyway.
All right. So this is what I then started reading. Then it was like 200 then for all. You'll have no problems selling stands for 40. Mixer 90 quid.
And then the problem is with this is I said if you're willing to pay 180 for just the speakers with those other prices that he's just said I could get for the other bits, that adds up to £310, which is more than it's up for. So he's offering 200 for it all, but he's just said that 200 for the speakers, 40 for the desk, 40 for the stands, and 90 for the mixer. That adds up to 310.
He's saying that you'd be able to sell the stands for 40 quid and you'd be able to sell the mixer for 90.
I understand that, Judd, but he said he would offer me 180 for the speakers. So, if you add £40 on 280, that's 220, and then 90 for the mixer, that's 310. So he's saying the whole thing's worth 310. So why is he trying to pay 200 for it? You know, I've said 230 for this thing that he said is worth 310. It don't make any sense. So then you've got like a bit of an essay to read out, which is all in individual messages here.
This is like 12 separate messages, by the way. Everything I'm about to read out now. So he says, "I'm showing you what you can get for the other bits that I don't want. You will get more doing that way. 200. That's how that's wrote, by the way. You will
just
get
read
more
it exactly
doing that
how it's
way.
written.
200 speakers. Okay, all right. I'm just gonna keep going. 140 for other bits. 130, so you will be getting more in the end. It's common sense. Old are you, please?"
I know.
Is what? You got lot up. What? You got lot up for 300 quid. You will take 200 for lot. I will give you 200 just for speakers. Then you will get 130 for other bit. So that's 330 in all. So you 30 better.
What the fuck? What's going on there? He's wrong as well, because he didn't say he'd give me 200 for the speakers. He said he'd give me 200 for everything. He said he'd give me 180 for the speakers. Also, I don't trust this fella to think that I can get £40 for some stands without the speakers. Like, what are they going to do with those? Those stands don't fit in every type of those speakers. They might fit in some, but like, so 40 quid, no, that's not going to happen. And it's just like, and I just don't believe him anyway. So I said, I have had offers of £200, but I think that's a bit low, because he said that he said you will take 200 for the lot, and he thinks that I'm happy to take 200 for the lot. That's not what I've said. I said I'd take 230 for the lot from him. People are so stupid, aren't they? So, and I said, I've had offers of 200, but I think that's a bit low. I would like to sell the set for a bit more. And then slam me with them last lines, Judd, because these are the corkers. And
then he put 200 free BJ, lol. Joking, by the way.
Oh, Fucking hell. Facebook Marketplace. Never change. Never change.
I like how he had to clarify that it was joking because he got scared that you were a gay boy and that you were gonna take him up on his offer.
Oh my god. No, I blocked him at that point as well.
Yeah.
At that point, I'm like, no, you just when you block someone on Facebook Marketplace or something like that, there is an option for just a straight up fucking idiot. You can't. That's not one of the options. It's all like bullying and harassment, deliberately low offer.
Yeah.
There's not just straight up fucking idiot as one of the options. So that's a shame. But weirdly, Judd, neither of those people are my choice for Freak of the Week. Speaking of
you
which,
have one then. You actually have one then. Usually it's just me with freaks. I didn't know you'd be bringing freakage.
You're not gonna have a freakier freak this week, Judd. Is the thing? Oh, I did a little rhyme. Now I've got a question for you because I asked you if you're going to watch the new Jackass movie.
Yeah.
Have you seen it yet?
I have. I've been and seen it.
When did you see it?
I saw it Monday. I saw it this Monday.
Because I was thinking, you said you were going to go see it with your friend when I asked you. Now, I didn't know when, so I thought, oh shit, he might be going at the same day as me, actually. So we in theory, we could have been in the same cinema together, in which case we could have talked about what happened and my Freak of the Week. But we didn't, so I'm going to get to tell you all about it. I'm going to tell you about the whole kind of experience going through, being as it encompasses like some other stuff as well as my Freak of the Week, which I'll say when I get to that point. So I ended up going to this movie on my own. Aren't I great? I was supposed to be going with a friend. I was supposed to be going with Cal, but he's become a little prick lately, and mostly because he goes to university, which happens to most people. And he's been exceedingly unreliable. So there was this whole kerfuffle where I said, "It's a long shot. Would you be free to see Jackass tonight? Maybe tomorrow if needed." He basically agreed, but never said tomorrow never said the Sunday rather than the Saturday, and actually said that the Saturday would be slightly better for him. So pretty sure the best thing to assume would be the Saturday, although assuming stuff is not great, I will admit that fault. But when I literally specifically said to him as well, shall I book this then? Can you definitely come? Shall I book tickets? Like, I specifically said that, and he was like, yep. Fine. And then later on, when I said to him, let me know when you get in, when your train comes in, he was like, oh, you meant tomorrow, right? And I was like, no, I meant tonight. You fucking idiot. So I just put, no, I meant tonight. Send me £6 for the tickets, and just kind of ignored him after that. But anyway, I get to the cinema on my own. And the way the cinema that I went to is laid out, it's a little bit confusing. So there was this guy stood near me, and I kind of went to him, which bit do I go to for my tickets? And he went, oh, I don't really know. He was a little bit drunk, but I was thinking, it's Jackass, isn't it?
Okay.
I'd had some beers before going. I'd been dropped off myself, and I ordered 2 beers myself as well. Because, it's that, if you're gonna drink in any movie, it's gonna be that one. So I ordered 2 pints, and the person who poured my pints of beer, oh god, he looked like he were about 14 to me. I mean, I'm nearly 25 now, so someone who's like 19 looks young to me at this point. So he poured them, and one of them was all right. The other one was like 60% foam. It was bad, and I was looking at it like with mild confusion. And he put them on the side, and I specifically said to him, can I leave them there? I'm just gonna get my tickets sorted and some food. And he said, yeah, that's fine. And I looked around to one of the people behind the food counter, because there were separate counters. And I asked for nachos from one of them, and I saw the other one kind of looking at him like, you fucking retard, what are you doing? So she came out behind the counter, looked at him, and like put her hands out like, what the fuck? And then grabbed this shitty pint they'd poured, chucked it down the sink, and just started pouring a new one. And I turned around and saw her doing all this, and I said, I mean, I didn't want to say anything, but I did want to leave those on the side on purpose for a bit. So I got my nachos, got my tickets, I had my 2 pints of beer, but I'm only one guy. I couldn't carry 2 pints and a plate of nachos. A tray of nachos.
Yeah.
So the person who poured my pint out made the lad who poured it out in the first place carry a beer with me to my seat. So they made him be my personal escort to carry my beer. Like my beer bitch. Oh god, which was quite funny. And on the way up the stairs, we walked past like the manager lady, and as we were walking past her, I was saying, "This is quite nice. This I've never had a personal escort to my seat before." and the manager lady said, "Oh, just best be up. You don't get escorted out. Am I right?" As like joking kind of thing. Foreshadowing.
Yeah. Okay.
So
What?
anyway, we went into the movie. I picked a pretty decent seat. You will know this from it was Parkway Cinema in Barnsley, so you'll know that the screen upstairs is slanted and the screen downstairs is like flat seating. And to my joy, it was a screen upstairs with the slanted seating, because it's just a better screen. It's just like slanted seating is obviously better. So I sat normally in a cinema, there's a middle section and 2 like side sections. I sat like kind of near the middle of the middle section, kind of near the edge. And then there was like a group of 5 people who came in kind of last, but not the movie hadn't started, but they were the last people to come in. And they sat in the right-hand wing. They sat in one of the wings. And like just before the movie were about to start, they were not being loud. They were being like whisper loud, and it weren't like so loud that it was annoying. And there was like 2 pieces of popcorn from them hit me. Like, they weren't aimed at me, but I was thinking, what the fuck is going on with their popcorn? It's fucking flying everywhere. Like, they weren't being rowdy, but somehow popcorn was fucking flying everywhere from these people. I didn't understand. We're talking like maybe 60 meters away. They were like quite far away. Maybe, I don't know, maybe 50 meters away. And I was thinking, they're having a fun time. Because, I mean, I was already like mildly tipsy at this point. You look confused. What's the matter?
No, it's weird. It's just what I'm trying to picture it. Like, are they just like digging their hands and like flinging the popcorn outwards? So how are they doing it?
Could have been. That's the mystery of this whole thing. But the movie started, and it's spoilers. It's really good. It's a really good movie. I enjoyed it a lot.
It is. Yeah.
And I was enjoying it a lot. And about 10 minutes into it, there was this guy sat with that group that, let's just say he was very drunk. Let's say that's what the only substance that he'd had. Just alcohol, probably. I'm going to say it could have been anything else. Could just that one. And
all right,
you could tell that he thought he was like enjoying the film and saying things like about things that were happening on screen and like exclaiming about those. But he wasn't saying any words. He was just like, you could tell he thought he was saying words, but what he was saying wasn't words. He was just going like just like making noises at it, like enjoyment noises.
Are you sure he wasn't just like autistic?
No. I know he wasn't. You'll find out. So he did that. He were doing that, and you know this particular cinema that I'm on about. They're quite strict when it comes to anything, any sort of noise, any sort of like, just anything. If your phone, if the light from your phone comes on for whatever reason, they'll come up to you and be like, "Please, can you not look at it?" They're quite strict, but I know that sounds a bit annoying. I like it. I like them being strict. I don't like people messing around.
I like that. I like that.
So that was good, and they came up to him, and because it was Jackass, they were a lot more lenient. If it were any other movie, they'd have just kicked him out straight away from this place.
Yeah.
But they came up and they were like, "Look, we get it. It's this movie. Just, you can't be doing that though. You know, you can't be being that loud." And I actually appreciated that, because, you know, it's fair enough. But not 2 minutes later, even louder, he went,
God.
Oh god, it was quite funny at this point. I turned around to look at me like, what the fuck is going on with this guy? And the management came home to him and went, "I mean, I told you, come on, you gotta go." And to be fair, everyone's looking at him, so everyone saw this point. And I had a great view actually from the angle I was at.
Yeah.
And I saw this guy go like, like, not say anything, but like it was very agreeable. Like, I understand.
Yeah.
And he got this. Oh god, it was brilliant. It was like we were watching a live theatre performance of Jackass at this point, because he got up to go out with her and then flopped over the row of chairs in front of him. Just
Nice.
he just ragdolled, straight up ragdolled everywhere. It was great. I loved it. And all his friends were laughing. The whole cinema was laughing because, like, I mean, that's what we've come to watch. It's just live.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he fell over there, and his friends went round and like helped him up.
Yeah.
There was a group of 5 of them, and so there were 2 of these lads trying to hold up this like gone guy.
Yeah.
But the thing is, not a single person in that theatre didn't have an alcoholic drink. Like, it's, you know, like I've said many times, it was Jackass, so like everyone had a drink. So like these people who were trying to help him out had also had a drink, so they weren't very sober themselves at all either. So this is a reason why I said it's the slanted stairs. It was slanted seating, because this absolutely out of his mind guy, we're going to have to walk down like these slanted steep stairs. It weren't just like a normal floor. And I was thinking, I mean, of course they were going to help him walk because he was so out of it. And I was thinking, oh god, I've got to watch this because it's just a matter of time. This guy's going to fall. It's going to be good. But the thing is, they were holding him up. They were trying to help him up, but they were kind of drunk, so they kept slipping as well. So they were just like 3 fellas just slipping their way down these stairs. Oh,
that's
it was good. It was very good. I enjoyed that a lot. But that was kind of my Jackass experience. We rate movies and TVs and things as a bit of like an after show after we record this podcast. Twitch.tv/streamsbadly. You can watch the recording of this podcast live there and listen to that sort of thing after the podcast is done. And I'll talk more about the Jackass movie when we do that. But for now, I'm desperate for a piss, so Judd can tell you what he thought about the Jackass movie while I go do that.
Okay, I will do. I will actually do that. So, I went to go see it with my mate Tom, and I was thinking at the start that, look, it's probably it's not going to be as bad as it was before, because, you know, it's different times, so they can't get away with as much. And I also thought it was going to kind of be a lot like, right, we're watching guys in the 50s who are essentially doing the things that they were doing 30 years ago or 20 years ago, however long it was. And, you know, is it just going to be a bit sort of like, are they just trying? Like, are they just trying too hard? Are they just doing it because they just needed a paycheck? But it was really fucking funny. In fact, I'd say some of the stuff they were doing on it was actually some of like the worst stuff, like the hardest to watch stuff that they've ever done. There were I sat and watched it all, but Tom, the guy who I went with, he had to like, you know, he had to like turn away a few times. It's good, it's funny, it's really funny, and I'm happy that they kept up how fucking
I agree.
Just awful they are to each other. Yeah.
Yeah, there was some controversy, wasn't there, around this Jackass movie when it comes to like Bam was missing.
Yeah,
all of that stuff. He's still an alcoholic, basically, is the long and short of it. Yeah. It's kind of sad because his friend died from like an alcoholic car crash. So like,
yeah,
sucks.
They had a little tribute to Ryan Dunn at the end, didn't they?
Yeah, the new cast members were really good. I liked. Weirdly, it's one of the kind of movies where I specifically enjoyed the diversity. Because there was at least one black guy as part of the new cast and a woman as well, and the woman wasn't featured as much. I would have been interested to see a bit more from her, but like, it's just interesting to see how other like people who enjoy doing that sort of stuff but are from different backgrounds react to everything. I thought that was kind of funny to see like just different types of people doing Jackass type of stuff, so that was pretty cool. So,
it was.
Anyway.
It was rather cool. It was rather cool, indeed.
I'm going to do a little choose your own adventure type of thing here now, Judd. Do you want me to tell you about YouTube boxing? Do you want me to tell you about Tinder swindler? Or do you want to know my latest meaning of life journey?
Oh, God, should we get the fucking meaning of life shit out of the way?
It's not too long, this one. Basically, it's to do with my newest, least favourite philosopher, right? Confucius. Okay.
Confucius.
Fuck Confucius.
Wow.
What a Confucius is what I'm going to call him. Fuck that guy, honestly. One of the worst. He's just I hate him. He's pissed me off. He's really pissed me off. His whole deal is just, conform to the order of how we all do things, otherwise you're a bastard. It's essentially how China is now, really, but, it's like, his whole deal of like the meaning of life and what you should always do is just fulfill your little purpose and your role and just stay in your little box to serve like society and fuck you for thinking any differently. That's his whole deal. Like what a fucking bastard! Oh, just pisses me off.
He sounds like the least philosophical philosopher I've ever heard of.
Well, the thing is,
it's like
it's how he phrases it all into. It's like, oh, there may be 1,000 chariots. That's racist. There may be 1,000 chariots, but
I forgot you're doing the Asian.
Yeah, there may be 1,000 chariots, but can someone lead those chariots? If Hing Xiao, I don't know if that's a real name, but that's the type of name that sound like that,
Yeah.
I'm sorry if that's bad, but like I wouldn't give a shit if it was the other way around. Put it that way. If they led those chariots, are they a good person? And then they phrase it all like that. But when you actually listen to his tellings, it's just like, do what you're told, you little worm, and, fulfill your purpose to the communistic army. So it's just, oh,
God.
Honestly, I could describe it further and kind of talk about it a bit more, but by the end of listening to this information, his texts and all the things that he'd said, I just thought, fuck you. He said some other stuff, right, that was meant to make it sound more deep. So trying to tie it to kind of religious, spiritual beliefs in certain ways. Like he says, part of it is intertwining with spirituality and stuff. But then when he actually says anything more substantial, when he goes into detail about it, never mentions anything like that again. He has these main sort of elements and tenets that add things that make it sound more clever and philosophical, and then never mentions them again when he actually like talks about how you should act and things like that. What a fucking cunt. If anyone thinks any differently, tweet at tweetsbadly and let me know why I'm wrong, because I probably am, let's be honest. Yeah, that's all I had to say on the meaning of life. Confucius, cunt. But
nice.
The other one that I will tell you about, it's pretty easy to explain as well, is my favourite as well. My favourite and probably the closest, sort of best explanation so far I've got for the meaning of life. I'm not concluding it. I'm not saying that that's the right one. In fact, my main problem with it is that there's no way to prove it is the right one, actually. But Stoicism seems the best kind of general philosophical avenue. There was someone called Seneca who said that, like, emotions should always be tamed. Emotions are never good, and you should always be rational and never look at them. Now, you might think that that's a pretty good thing for me to enjoy, being as I'm a big autismo. That one's not a joke. I actually am. But I disagree, though, because emotions are kind of useful sometimes, and they have been throughout history, and that's just like being silly and too black and white. Then, Epictetus, we went through this last time, Epictetus did a spin on that and basically said, look, the only kind of thing that's for certain is change and death, and you can't know that death's going to be good or bad because we don't actually know the true meaning of life, so stop fucking feeling bad about anything. You can't be negative towards things, really, because you don't know what's good or what's bad. It also means you can't be positive towards things, really. Think like that. But, that one was pretty decent, but not amazing. And my favourite, Marcus Aurelius, right? So the only true thing we know is... What's the only thing that's certain, Judd? What's the only thing that's definitely true?
Death. That is true.
Do you know,
everybody's going to die.
Everyone I've said this to has said death as well. Now that's a pretty close answer. That's pretty much right. And one of the big tenets of Stoicism is that life is finite. Just embrace that, know that that's true, and kind of, live your life best you can by knowing that knowledge and utilize that knowledge. Now, you're right, but kind of the more fundamental element of that is change. So the only thing that's true is that energy and matter will change. Not be created and destroyed, just change and move between different types of energy, different types of matter. And when we die, that's what dying is, really. So you're right, death, but death is doing that. It's changing, decaying, turning to worm food, all of that bollocks. So that's true. That's the only thing that's going to happen. So Marcus Aurelius basically said, he said a lot of stuff that's more complicated than this, but he basically said, that's the only thing that's true. So realistically, the only thing that can be the meaning of life, really, is that things are going to be in flux and change. It's going to happen. No matter how long it takes, don't matter what it changes into or why. But that is kind of the ultimate truth. Now, there's nothing to say that definitely means it's the meaning of life either, but can you say that it's not? Not really.
I suppose.
So that's kind of why it's probably the best argument so far, but also there's nothing to prove that it's right. The main reason it's the best is that you can kind of prove all the other ones wrong that I've heard so far. So that's that. It brings up a lot of other questions, though, in that, what's the point in doing anything then?
Yeah.
It don't matter what you do. All your choices and things like that are meaningless. The fact that humans have free will and intelligent thought is just kind of like a hindrance and like a delay, which is also irrelevant because time's infinite anyway, so it's going to happen one way or another. So it's just that's the best I've got so far. Moral of the story, though, is Marcus Aurelius can come up with that and kind of say that around the same time as Confucius are being a cunt and just saying, do as you're told!
Right.
There you go.
Good.
Marcus Aurelius, big, long, hard dick, very nice, good, cool guy. Confucius, small pee-pee, cunt.
I get it. Now I get it.
You've got the meaning of life now, have you? That's all
I've
you need to know.
Now I've got it, yeah.
Oh, have you got anything for today's podcast at all? By the way, I feel like I'm just blabbering on about a bunch of shit.
I've actually, I suppose I have got a little bit of something. I've been doing my intensive driving course from today because my driving test is tomorrow. So
tomorrow? Oh fuck!
Yeah,
that's come round quick. Was it supposed to be then?
Yeah.
Have I just forgotten it was so close?
Yeah, essentially.
Oh, right. I thought you might have got like an earlier slot or something. I don't really give a shit, so that makes sense that I would have forgotten. So
no, I started today, and I'm fine, to be honest. I'm a fine driver. It's just little things that we got to go over. He's even said to me that it's not an impossibility that I'll pass my test tomorrow. It's just I could have just done with a bit more time and a bit more refreshing.
You've not organised yourself great with it, have you?
It's been really hard to, because with all the COVID stuff going on, everybody's been backed up, so I've not really been able to get with anybody and sort stuff out. But
hooking up has been quite a difficult thing. I don't know what hookups have got to do with driving. I mean, but I suppose there's fake taxi and fake driving school. Seen that one? That one's pretty cool.
That's Fake Taxi is the name of my of the guy who's doing my intensive driving course.
Oh, that's interesting. So. Is it Big John? Is it called Big John? By any means, for some reason?
Big John, yeah.
Weird. Everyone knows the name of the fake taxi guy, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. So if I do fail it tomorrow, I'm not gonna super beat myself up about it. But there's also, I didn't know they did this. They do a payment plan with intensive courses. So I'll probably go for a longer thing, like a 20-hour course or something. The only reason I only got a 5-hour course this time because I'm I've been learning to drive on and off essentially for 6 years, really, haven't I?
Oh, fucking hell.
So
6 years? What? No, you can only start when you're 17, Judd.
Yeah, I know.
You're 23.
Yeah. Yeah? Yeah, that's.
I guess.
That's
I suppose.
yeah,
I suppose. If you
what
want to
the
look at
fuck?
it
Yeah,
like that. But like,
yeah,
you didn't start straight away, and also you have had massive gaps that I don't know if you can call that on and off either. Like you've had like year and a half long gaps at certain points.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's what I'm trying to say is I'm not inexperienced. I'm not completely inexperienced behind a wheel, and I'm a fairly confident driver as well. So all I really felt like I needed was just a bit of a refresher. I probably could have done with a bit more. I'm not terrible at driving at all. Like I know all of the different types of stops, like parking. Like I know front bay parking and back bay parking, parallel parking. I know how to do all those. I know how to do an emergency stop. I know how to like properly turn in and everything. It's just getting everything like properly solid down.
Yeah.
And also, I booked this intensive course. It was literally just coming up to Christmas, so I had to think about like Christmas shit, like money for over Christmas, like presents and stuff. So I wasn't thinking about getting like a 20-hour course because that costs like $1,000. It costs a lot.
When you first got this job that you're doing, and you were like flexing all the amount of money you were getting and things like that. Are you starting to realize now that you're actually quite poor?
That's my fault.
Because I fucking am. I'm trying to buy a house. I was trying to buy a I looked at a 1-bedroom flat the other day. Can't afford it.
Yeah.
Can't really afford it. It's just fuck me.
But anyway, yeah. So I was, but I figured out now that actually they can put you on like a payment plan thing to like mitigate the costs. So I'll probably do that next time if I don't. But I'm not like I'm not certain I'm gonna fail tomorrow. I could actually have like a really good day, and I could have a good instructor, and no bullshit could happen like when I'm out.
I don't think a good instructor is going to be very good at helping you.
I said a good instructor. I did say a good instructor. Yeah. but yes, so it could go well. I could just pass first time. It's not an impossibility. It's just I'm not.
You probably
don't
will
get your hopes up either.
I mean, you've had a car bought for you. I mean, you just got to get lucky with your passing first time, haven't you? I've heard that the driving test in the UK at the minute is actually slightly easier than when I did it. Do you know how it works? Like, do you know exactly what you're gonna have to do? Because so I'll say what I mean by that. In that, when I was doing my driving lessons, they told me that I'm gonna have to do about 20 minutes worth of just. They're going to say, go to this destination, and they're just going to essentially shut up, and I've got to do self kind of driving. They're going to make me do 2 different maneuvers, so that might be a bay park and an emergency stop. Well, actually, no, forget about emergency stop. So it might be a bay park and reversing round a corner, for example. Those are 2. Another maneuver might be a 3-point turn. So I'm going to have to do 2 of something like that. They may do an emergency stop added, but it's not likely. They do that 1 in 10-ish. And then, other than that, there's some, I think there was like 2 or so mandatory maneuvers on top of that. Something like that.
Yeah.
So have you been given a rundown like that?
Yeah. So as also to go off on that as well, the 3-point turn, like in the middle of the road, they don't do that anymore. You're not expected to do that in a test anymore. That's that. Like they've taken that out. That's not one of the maneuvers. Neither is reversing.
It was the easiest one, to be fair.
Yeah, neither is like reversing behind, like reversing round a corner. That's been taken out.
Yeah, I kind of get that, because how often when will you actually ever really need to do that?
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah,
I do it every day to reverse off my drive. Not gonna lie, but that's just, I've got a weird drive. Okay.
You do have a really weird drive, yeah. But yeah, no, I know how it works. Like I say,
so what is it? Because I'm sure that because my girlfriend's sister's learning to drive, she's gonna take a test like pretty soon as well. And my girlfriend told me that her sister said it's like less than that because when my girlfriend did it, it was all that stuff that I mentioned and some sat nav driving as well, and also pulling in on the right. As another added one, which you're not supposed to even do. That's actually an illegal maneuver. You're not supposed to be able to. You're not allowed to do that in our country. So why do they teach you to do it? I don't know. But
so yeah, pulling on the right. The sat nav thing. That's also that doesn't always happen. They only do give that to like some people. So but yeah. So you'll just drive around for a bit. You'll find somewhere to like do the parking shit, all the different parking maneuvers. You might do sat nav training. You probably won't though, because not everybody does it.
So do you know how many maneuvers you're going to be required to do then?
They only ask you to do one. There's four different maneuvers that you can ask you to do.
There's only four.
And yeah, because it's front base.
There was like at least 7 when I did it. There was at least it was out of like 7. It could have been.
No, it's only now. It's front bay parking, reverse bay parking, parallel parking, and literally just moving it back, like reversing it 2 car lengths.
This is what I mean. It's become easier. Like, it's an easier test now, for sure, than when I did it.
Yeah.
Because following the sat-nav's not fucking hard anyway, is it? It's not actually adding any difficulty.
Yeah.
It actually, if anything, makes things easier. Yeah, fuck me. Like, come on. They've only changed that because you're doing it. That's you being lucky. It's your luck affecting everyone else who's a similar age to you. Jesus Christ. Well, I'm sure you'll pass first. I'm not going to say good luck because that'll fucking... You don't need my luck. Your bad luck's better than my good luck. So, you know, it would... All I will say is it'll be mildly useful for me not to have to drive you some places sometimes. That's as much as I can say about it. Oh, right. Well, I'm sure that you'll tell us all about that next time. Choose your own adventure book, Judd. Turn to page 23 for YouTube boxing. Turn to page 107 for Tinder swindler.
I'll do 23. I'll go to page 23.
YouTube boxing. Right. So there's not much too much to tell you about, really. But what I do like about it is, you know, back in the day when it was like KSI versus Joe Weller, KSI versus Logan Paul 1, when it was actual internet stars boxing. Yeah. That's what we liked. It's that again, and it's UK versus USA, but it's in the UK as well. So it's at Wembley, so it's a good time. It's actual YouTubers boxing, and it's UK versus USA. We're on for a good set of stuff here. Now, the difference is the stars aren't quite as big. The YouTubers aren't quite as big. So, from what I can tell, I can only find 4 fights on this card. There will be more. There'll be about 7, 9. Normally, I think that's about a normal boxing card amount of fights. But I think the only amount that we know at the minute is about 4. I think you're going to know one person out of these that I'm going to read out. That's my estimate, but we'll see. I know 3. Put it that way.
All right.
So on the undercard we've got now. Wait a minute. I don't know if this is right. Actually, what I'm going to read out, but I'll read it out anyway, if I can. Vitalis DTV.
Oh, I've heard of him. I've definitely heard of him.
I don't. Oh no! I did not think it would be this guy. No way, it's him. Vitaly. He's called Vitaly, and he did a porno once, and he didn't he run across a Super Bowl field naked or something, get arrested, and then got cancelled, and then did a porno or something like that.
That's maybe ringing a bell. I think.
Is that the guy? Surely it is. His full name is Vitaly Zorovetsky. That's the best I got.
Is that his full name?
It can't be him because he's a bit old school. The guy I'm thinking of, and this guy's only 29. Maybe it could be though. I don't know. But anyway, it says he is fighting himself.
Oh, on
this website, givemesport.com. I don't know how he could be fighting himself, but I mean, who fucking
is it
knows?
Like his brother or something? Is that like
could be? I don't know. I've not a clue.
This is my twin brother. I must fight him. We must see who is the real one.
Okay, so there's that. I guess I maybe know who that is. Then another one on the undercard we've got Arms Corleone. Arms Corleone. I don't know. Nice. I don't know how the fuck that's. I don't know who that is. YouTube doesn't know who that is. I've copied and pasted it into YouTube, and no one fucking knows. Apparently, oh fuck! I just played a bit of them rapping on Fire in the Booth. have no idea. I think there must be some sort of YouTube rapper then. I've no idea. And they're going to be fighting iMinicon.
iMinicon. Yes.
iMinicon is also a musical artist, probably YouTube rapper type of. It's probably one of those YouTube rapper type of.
One of them
type of things.
fellas.
So those are the only two from the undercard that we know. Then we've also got on the co-main event, right? FaZe Temper. You've heard FaZe Clan?
Tiny Temper.
Not Tiny Temper. Now that is a boxing event I would watch. No, FaZe Temper. Don't know what the fuck they do really. They're part of FaZe Clan. It's one of those. And they're gonna be fighting King Kenny. King Kenny TV. King Kenny. King Kenny is part of the YouTube group Beta Squad. Heard of them?
Okay.
UK based. Have you heard of Nico Milana?
No.
You heard of Chunks?
I've heard of Nico Avocado.
That's something else. That's very different. Have you heard of Chunks? You know Chunks? No.
I just said I've heard of Nico Avocado.
Nice, nice, dude. Good one. No, I don't say this in a bad way, but I feel like some people might think of Beta Squad as. I don't even know if I can say it. I'm going to mute myself and just say it to Judd.
Okay. Okay, I thought the Sidemen were black.
It's two of them are, yeah, but all of Beta Squad. So it's kind of, I don't know. It's a different. They're similar. It's a YouTube group, it's a bunch of YouTubers. So King Kenny TV, he's one of them. He's a bit tall, kind of. I don't know, slightly taller than me. Anyway, so that's them two. It'll be interesting, that one, actually. If I'm giving my predictions on the people that I know, so I know those two generally. In theory, FaZe Temper should definitely win that. He's been in combat sports a lot longer than King Kenny. He's taller and he has more reach. On paper, it all adds up. But thing is, when it comes to YouTube boxing, the UK just has a bit more dog in them, They just tend to just have something that works better for some reason.
We do
Apart
like
from
dogging
Deji,
in the UK.
Because fuck Deji, am I right? Anyway, I think Deji is the most hated person on this podcast so far, which I... Speaking of Deji, though, Judd, he's fighting on the card. He's back at it again. He's ready to lose once again. He's fighting Alex Wasabi.
Alex Jones?
No, no, it's not the like fucking Republican guy who just
that's the guy who's like the government run by lizards.
No, Alex Wasabi. So Alex Wasabi is like an OG YouTuber, like a Smosh type of.
Oh, nice.
So it's fighting him.
Is he gonna come on the stage and be like, I bet my frosted sprinkle donut could beat your hot dog? And then they have him do like weird things.
He's Asian, so it'd be like, I bet my spring roll can beat your.
You can't now. That is racist.
It's a joke. It's a joke, though. Obviously, I don't believe that. He's actually like American, really. So it's like, I bet my cheeseburger can be. Oh God, I've done it again. It's a joke. It's all jokes. Look, if people can say that we would come on stage and say, I bet my cup of tea, governor, can beat your custard cream. I don't fucking care.
If they're American,
it's fine.
if they're American, then it'd be like, I bet my cheeseburger can survive in a school shooting longer than your wasabi roll.
This is an awful joke.
It's not bad, can I?
This is an awful joke. Even I think this has gone too far now. Anyway, so Deji's fighting Alex Wasabi. The whole thing with Deji, right, is that everyone is like, oh, he's finally got in shape. He's gonna come. It looks like he's been training. He's not been on YouTube in ages. He must have been training, all this sort of thing, and people have believed the hype. I'm not sure I believe the hype, to be honest. And the other thing is, I still don't think he'll win. Even if he did do that, I still don't think he'll win. Because he can only have been training so long because we know that he fucked up. Deji fucked up his last fight. We know he wasn't in shape then. We know he hasn't been training until at least a week or so after that fight. So even if he started training hardcore a week or so after that fight, he still had like about 6 months less training at least than his opponent, because Alex Wasabi's been training for fucking ages. Years ago, when KSI had like I think it was when he had beaten Joe Weller. He'd not long since beaten Joe Weller. Alex Wasabi at that point was like, yeah, I want to fight KSI, I'm going to start training. And KSI was like, no, you're nowhere near good enough. Rightfully. So Alex Wasabi fights Foozy Tube. Do you know Foozy? Do you remember him? He's the one who like organised that concert and said, Drake's coming here, and shouted a bunch of shit at him. So they sparred each other, right? And Alex Wasabi got knocked out. so everyone was like, oh my god, he's so shit. Like, and you know what? Then, if you actually watch the full fight, most of the fight, Alex Wasabi's like kind of winning. And he just gets clipped and floored. He's not as bad as people made out just from that one spar, but he's been training since then. So since KSI beat Joe Weller, when was let me get this. When was KSI versus Joe Weller? When was that? 2018. So he's been training since 2018. Maybe let's say 2019 to be fair. He's been training fucking 3 years, Alex Wasabi. Deji can at most, I mean, when was Gibb versus Taylor? Deji can only have been training for fucking since June 2021. Like, that's when Deji's actually started training. So this is a thing. Even if Deji's been hitting it mega since then, it don't matter. He's not been training anywhere near as long as Alex Wasabi has. Now, there's stuff like training camps, who's been training harder, all of that sort of thing, who's got more natural ability. I don't think it evens out enough. I'm calling Alex Wasabi wins by stoppage. I don't think he'll knock him out. I think Deji will still get tired, and Alex Wasabi will kind of box his head off, stay on the outside, and referee will stop it. Because fuck Deji. He's... Everything that Alex has said and everything people say about him, I believe is true. I think he's entitled. I think he's riding off the back of his brother, and I think he doesn't even realise it. I think he's delusional. He's a proper, like, reliant on his parents. I'm saying that while still living at my parents' home, and my parents probably have contributed too much to my life. Look, I do the same. I'm not saying I'm any different, but Deji fucking could, in theory, and probably is, a millionaire, and he still lives off with his parents. It's insane. Yeah. I don't get it. I don't think Deji will win, and there's a part of me that does want Deji to win, but there's another part of me that doesn't, actually, at this point. I don't know. I honestly think I could fight Deji and beat him at this point. I genuinely do. Would you take your words back if he showed up and he'd actually tried really hard and he won? Well, yeah, because I've been proven wrong. That's fine and great. Yeah. I wouldn't be upset by that either. Like, that's great. Good for him. Yeah, great. That's all what we wanted all along. Now, what I would say is about fucking time. It's about time you fucking realised it. Everyone's been saying this to you for like the whole time you've been trying to do this. But, like, I mean, good on you. Yeah, sure. I don't think it'll happen. And if it does happen, yeah, cool. It's great that it happened. But let's be honest, it wasn't likely to happen. Like, that's kind of the attitude I would say to it. Now, if he turns up and he's ripped and he absolutely floors Alex Wasabi, then I would be like, no, I don't think I would be able to beat him now because he's obviously proven me wrong. But, you know, at this point, I still think, fuck Deji and you're a lazy cunt. He needs to prove me wrong to think otherwise. And I think if he you know what? By some miracle, if you listened to this podcast and heard me saying that and got offended by that, I'd think... I was just going to say, what? And our special guest for the episode, Deji. I would think, no, you're being a cunt, because everything points towards that. You can't blame someone for thinking that when that's what you've displayed to everyone, you know? When that's what everyone's seen. That's what the facts show. So, that's YouTube boxing. It's going to be interesting. The only fight I'm interested in is the Deji Alex Wasabi fight, really. King Kenny fight would be interesting, but I'm not that bothered. I might buy it. I might watch it. It depends what other fights are on it. I think Halal Ham's fighting, from what I can tell. Do you remember Halal Ham? Do you remember that? I remember. Halal Ham. Nice. The commentators, there's the Wade concept. You'll not know who that is, but I like him. Joe Weller is commentating on it as well as KSI's old boxing trainer, Vidal, who is now like a professional boxer in his own right as well. So that'll be pretty decent. The commentary team's been a pretty decent selection. So yeah, that's that. It depends on the price of what the pay-per-view is for me. It'd have to be very cheap for me to want to buy. If it's maybe like, it'd have to be £10 or under, and it won't be. It'll be closer to like 50, but it'd have to be like £10 or under for me to. If you think, do you remember what the price was for the first KSI Logan fight?
I've no idea.
It was about £6. It were about £6. It was really cheap. It might have been 10. I'm not sure. But the number 2, I believe, was £20 or under, something like that. It might have been like 23 or something. Whereas most, like, you know what a UFC? Do you know how much a UFC pay-per-view is?
No idea.
Let's find out specifically. Price. UFC pay-per-view price. They start at $60.
God.
This is what I'm saying. This is why YouTube boxing is so good. In that it's significantly cheaper. Even now, even a Jake Paul kind of fight card is cheaper than that.
Yeah.
So it's just mental. Anyway, last but not least, what's the deal with the Tinder swindler? You seen that? You seen this documentary?
No, I've heard about it. I have heard about this movie.
Do you know what it's about?
Documentary. Yeah. So essentially, well, am I gonna just say it? And
yeah, you can say what it's about.
Okay.
I'm only gonna say what I think about it. It's not.
Okay. So it's about this guy who was on Tinder and he was hooking up with women on Tinder and essentially convincing them that he was like mega rich. And then he'd basically scam them, and he'd be like, "Oh, my life's in mortal danger, and I can't like use my bank account or anything or something. I need you to send me some money." And these women would be so infatuated with him, thinking he was like this real sort of rich dude. They'd send him the money. And then he'd just spend that money on himself to, like, keep this cycle going of, like, buying all these fancy things, meeting up with a girl on Tinder, showing it off to her, being like, "Hey, look at all this cool shit I've got." She's like, "Yeah, I'm into it." And then rinse and repeat. And that's it. That's the Tinder swindler.
Yeah, and if I'm, you know, I know how our brains work. I kind of want to ask you, can you predict what my kind of main thought and opinion is going to be on this? I would like you to try and predict what I want to say about this.
I've not seen it, so I've got no idea.
Yeah, but in this sort of context, what do you think I would think about that?
Well, you've expressed to me in privacy before how much you hate women, so I imagine you're probably super.
Okay. That's a joke as well. I haven't.
You're
the joke is
like,
what he's saying. I wasn't joking. I've actually never said that. That's what I mean. He's lying, and that's the joke.
I imagine your reaction was yes, King Slay.
No, my opinion is that these women, like, that he was swindling, what the fuck is wrong with them? It was so obviously a scam. It was really obvious. They were obviously they were trying to present it in a way that was like, isn't he devious and he's scammed these women? They were trying to make it look like it was a convincing scam, and I was still thinking, oh, so he's obviously scamming then. That's like quite obvious right there. I was thinking, what the fuck? And now, obviously, by that I don't mean they deserve to be scammed. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I just thought, come on, at a certain point, you've done that. At a certain point, you've got yourself in that scenario. Some of these women sent like $250,000, of which they didn't have. They had to take loans out. You'd say to him, I ain't got 200 grand. I can't send you that. I ain't got it. I can't do that. And he'd be like, "Oh, take out loans, dude." I'd be like, "No, though.
I'm not taking out
like,
a fucking loan, you.
This is when they've known him like a month. A month.
God.
Fucking hell. Now, I understand that he actually physically took them on dates and, like, slept with them and had, like, romantic things and actually did spend loads of money on them. But, like, I don't care. Of course you wouldn't send him like a loaned 40 grand. No, you don't do that to anyone ever. Anyone. If anyone's got themselves in that scenario, you sending them money, no, bad idea. It doesn't matter. Even if it's your own... Even if you had got yourself in a scenario, right, where you were saying to me, look, Jay, I need you to do this. I'm in a proper, like, I'm fucked here. I'd be like, no. I can't do that. Obviously, I can't do that. Why are you asking me this?
Yeah.
Like, even if it's someone you've known your entire life, no, you don't do that to anyone ever. That's a pretty obvious thing, that. So,
yeah.
It don't make any fucking sense. And the weird thing about it that I've seen is, after this whole documentary's aired, there's obviously been a bunch of articles about it trying to get clicks and being like, oh, he's still on Tinder, even though this has come out. He's not. Because then there's other articles being like, he was on Tinder when it was published and now he's not. And, it's not
right,
off.
okay.
And then the women in it, the main two women, have started a GoFundMe. Oh God!
That'll show him. That'll get him.
They've got to get back the money he's pinched. Come on, everyone, give me some money. Why don't they arrest him or something then? If they can prove all.
Yeah.
It's just. I mean, in theory, like, donating to a GoFundMe to recoup some people who's been scammed, it's not actually that bad an idea, let's be honest. It is actually trying to do some good, but I just think, fuck me. Come on. They didn't bring it on themselves, but they really could have avoided it. And when they're interviewing them that, they're obviously not that bad off. I think they'll be fine. I think. Yeah. It's probably awful from like, genuinely. I don't want to like act like you've fucking not experienced anything bad at all. It probably it was awful from, but like I just couldn't help thinking, fucking hell, this could have all been avoided very easily. So anyway, but the guy who did it had posted on Instagram being like, I'm going to tell my version of the story, stay tuned, and then deleted it on Instagram. So I don't know.
Nice, classy.
It just whenever I hear these. I've never heard one of these romance scams and not thought about the victim. God, come on though. How did you not know? Like, have you ever watched Catfish? The TV show Catfish?
Yeah. I watched a few episodes of it, yeah.
Have you seen Catfish UK?
No, I didn't watch, I didn't keep up with it or anything.
I've watched one episode of Catfish ever, and it was Catfish UK, because, it's quite a common thing in couples that my girlfriend and I were like, let's find a show to watch together. Throwing out suggestions. One of the suggestions was, there's Catfish has come to UK. It's actually quite a modern version of it compared to how old the US one is. Should we give that a go? Safe to say we watched one episode, because... fuck me, that shit sucks. Honestly, they investigate like one case of someone being catfished, and immediately it's obvious. Immediately, it's so insanely obvious. My grandma's like pushing 80, and she could watch that show and go, "That's so obvious." It's insane.
Yeah.
Oh God. Anyway, I think that's everything. For the day. Next week, we'll hear about Judd's fucking driving test, whether he passed or failed.
That's exciting, that.
It is
Stay
to you.
tuned for that one.
Probably no one else, but... and then I've got some other stuff. I'm sure some other stuff will happen. Come on. Listen to next week's as well. Especially if you listen to this one. There's plenty of stuff happened this one. You know what? It's a fucking decent podcast, actually, isn't it? Isn't it? That's why you keep fucking listening to it. Bad. You little fucking cunt.
Not that bad.
Yeah. I'm talking to you in your ear right now.
To me?
No. You're not. No, not you.
Oh.
Why the fuck would I talk to you? I'm talking to them.
Why the fuck would I talk to you? That's done 110 episodes of a fucking podcast.
It's 120, actually. I think this is the 120th episode. Could be. Anyway, right. What are you going to say? What's the last words, Judd?
That's it. I don't care. Go away. Fuck off. Stop listening.